Welcome to our podcast. Welcome to our international podcast, Below the Belt. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to see each and every one of you here with us. Are you guys fired up and ready to go? Are you guys still with pace and power? We hope you guys are because we're fired up and we're ready to go. Pace and power in 2022. We are looking at some of the staff here in the studio who looking back a little strange saying, peace and power in 2022, guys. We got to keep going. We got to keep going. We get out here every day. We put our best foot forward. Pace, pace, and power. I wish I had a bell to ring. We need some noise for Below the Belt. Guys, wherever you're joining us from, we want to say an special good day to each and every one of you. And a special good day to you guys. Love having you guys here with us. Love having you guys on all our affiliate programs as well. We would have it no other way. We want it no other way. Peggy Russell Elias, Sonia Williams Jilks, Audrey Ward. We see y'all. We see y'all. We see each and every one of you. Magnell Barrow. Magnell, how are you doing? A pleasant good afternoon to you as well, Magnell. Shawnette M. Doris. Good to see you, Claire, Alexis Chomley Richmond. I sure clear the laughing now. Say, here this one calling me them. Claire, you know, we little extra here. We suck, we story play. We little extra here. Claire, Alexis Chomley Richmond, Sonia Williams Jilks. Good to see you. Magnell and Nicola Best. Nicola, how are you doing? Good to see you. June Chase is here as well. Good day to you as well. June St. Romaine Adams is in the Hizza. Up in the Hizza. I see Trefaza Williams. Lots of beautiful names. Trefaza Williams. Hear this one now. Viola Steed Innis. Viola, how are you doing? Good to see you guys. Yvonne Kingston and Shalon Joseph, Roxanne Odessa Jacobs. Really good to have all of you. Folks like Paulette Hawk Kippins and Audrey Ward, Shalon Joseph again. Guys, wherever you're joining us from, around the world, wherever you all joining me from, welcome in the ring. You know you got to share the live stream. You know you got to also, guys, smash, knock, click that emoji button. We're going to be joined today by the one and only Member of Parliament, Tamitha Sarabo Haley. We're still talking about Budget 2020. And guys, you all know where we are with this budget. We even got to try to convince you of anything. You all know where we are with this budget. It's a non-starter. Budget 2022 in trouble, folks. Regime and PR overdrive. That's what we're talking about. One set of meetings, and you see them hustling with a flurry of activities trying to sell this budget. But you, the people, you all understand where we are. You all understand what is happening out there. You all understand because you're big and you got sense, right? You're big and you got sense. We big, but we ain't stupid. Not so clear, Capel. Not so Owen Don Cook. We big, we big. Shalon Chester Pillay. Not so Sharon Grant, Rhonda Ferguson. Not so, man. We big, but we ain't stupid. We got sense. We big. Right? Right? You know, I know a lot of these women won't want we say that about them. We big. We are vintaged. We are vintage. Not so Peggy, Peggy Russell Elias. We are vintage, but we got sense. We vintage, but we got sense. Good to have each and every one of you here with us. Rhonda Ferguson, Margaret Nelson, how you doing, man? Margaret, know anything? Margaret, guilty as charged. Margaret said, Sharon, you know you extra. Guilty as charged. I'm actually signing the cross right now. I'm blessing myself. Come bless me now. Y'all see this podcasting and walk out, have a fallback. Why y'all know that is a boy with my things. I'm a boy with my things. If that work out, other things can happen, folks. Carl Fordyce, John Abrams, good to see you. Shellon, Chester, Pele. Gordon Estwick, how you guys are doing? Good to see y'all. Good to see y'all. Lynette Joseph. Lynette is got we good people. My mother's name is Lynette. Lynette Ann. It's good people, It's good people. Good folks. Good folks. Until you get them vexed. Until you get them vexed. Carl Fordyce, rather, Carlton Beverly. Good to see guys. Good to see you, Carlton Beverly. We love having you. We love having you all below the belt. We love it. We love it. We love it. We love it. Lots of information, guys. We're following, and let's start we're accustomed to starting with the weather. With the weather, how I can hear myself being extra, and I like it. I ain't liking it. How are you guys doing where you are, weather-wise? Weather-wise, it's such a lovely day. How are you guys doing where you are with the weather? How is the weather treating you folks? Maxine Monroe, Maxine, and I see Kevin Pierce. Is it Kevin? Kevin K.A.? Kevin Pierce. Sharon Mercurius. Sharon Mercurius. When you got a nice thing like Mercurius, you got a lot of money. Rich people. Rich people name, if there is such a thing. A rich people name Sharon Mercurius. Good to see you. Well, Sharon says, me, Carl. Name something strange, how he said. Sharon Mercurius. Good to have all of you fantastic. Well, look who just landed. Rita Clark. Rita Clark, well, it's not session. Let's Rita turn up. Rita, good to see you. What was keeping you back so long, Rita? Rita's already pelting lash at the trench crappos and the jagabats. She understand them. She understand the nature of the beast. So, folks, they're telling us at our end. We don't know about you, but our international podcast below the belt, we air it from the national capital city of Georgetown, and it's telling and the weather.com. It's our favorite place to get credible and valid weather information. Weather.com is telling us it's 29 degrees outside with a 4% chance that it's going to rain, and it feels like 34 degrees. 29 degrees outside in actuality, but weather.com says it feels like 34 degrees in the national capital city of Georgetown, which is nestled neatly in the oil producing republic, the cooperative oil producing republic of Guyana. Here the actual estimate, it's not Guyana, it's Guyana. The oil producing republic. See, when you start pumping oil, you got to elevate yourself. The cooperative oil producing republic of Guyana, nestled neatly there in the national capital city. We broadcast from our studios in the national capital city of Georgetown. Good to have each and every one of you with us. And that's what's happening weather-wise. Guys, as we speak, just a little while ago, there was a robbery, an attempted robbery at the New Amsterdam oil gas station there in New Amsterdam. Yep, every day, every day is demonstrative, demonstrative of the need for a crime plan in this country. Every day is demonstrative of that. Guys, let me tell you something. On the sidelines of that, you realize my accent every day I am getting a little tingish more. Every day, folks, is demonstrative that we need a crime plan. A crime plan. Now, there was this attempted robbery this morning. We've been made to understand that the pump attendant was shot twice. That's some initial information that we were able to pick up from our operatives there in New Amsterdam, that the pump attendant at the oil gas station there was shot twice. Where is this country going? I can hear some of you asking that. Where is this country going? It's a question we ask ourselves all the time. It's a question we ask ourselves all the time. We look at we clothes in the chester of drawers, the chester drawer, and we look at we suitcases either on top of the vanity or on top of the cupboard, the wall cupboard, or under the bed. We look at the suitcase and we say, you know what, we got dust you off. We look at them clothes and say, you know what, where this place coming to? Why are you doing here? But some of us still in the front line, we're struggling. That being said, again, by way of an update, just a little while ago, an attempted robbery there at the New Amsterdam oil gas station, and we'll be made to understand by credible sources we have on the ground that a pump attendant was shot twice. When our colleagues on the other side of the National Assembly, the PPPC, when they were campaigning vigorously for office, they said they have a crime plan. They're going to solve crime. They can bring down crime. And say, where? Right? The bandits, the pickpockets, the different categories of those fellas and that vice we have in society. They move with ease in the city. They move with ease. They carry out their business unhindered, unimpeded. by the authorities. And we showed you some video just last evening in our affiliate program In the Ring, where the woman is walking through a street somewhere there in the Penitence. She's robbed. School children, my God, standing just outside of the bishop's high school, and somebody comes up to them, right, and intrudes, huh? Intrudes on the sanctity, of the little gathering there and robs one of them, stuns the others. This is happening. This is happening, whether it's far flung New Amsterdam, Region 6, or it's right here in the national capital city. Crime goes unhindered, unintercepted, unabated. Thanks, Robson Ben, installed Minister of Home Affairs. Thank you. Thank you, PPP, for Robson Ben. Thank you for your non existent crime plan. Every goddamn day in this country is some nonsense. And so the most recent purgatory, the most recent confusion powder is this robbery here at this Guile gas station in New Amsterdam. But as I'm on that, I'm hearing that the human resource department, they got some officials there giving Guile staff a lot of problems. A lot of problems. The human resource department and some folks in the hierarchy there giving the Guy Oil gas station workers there. You understand? We got to file on them. We got to file on them. We can open the files very, very soon. We can open the files. We can open the files. Folks, again, our thoughts and prayers are with that attendant, that pump attendant of the Gael gas station there in New Amsterdam, who we being made to understand, again, was shot twice by them boys. Them boys come for the things. Them boys come for the things. Shot twice. Y'all can imagine that? Pinky Kerr and Tyson Hines. Shot twice. Faith Joseph, Simone Kennedy, and Susan Kansas. Folks, you're coming on the live stream. We want to ask you, if it's not necessary, to share this program. Let people see what is happening there. Let people understand what's happening in this beautiful country of ours. Things should be going a certain way, but leadership matters. Leadership matters. You guys won't perhaps all agree with us, but leadership matters. And I've understood from a very early age, a very tender age, that who leads matters. It matters. It matters. And you see the difference. Folks, say what you want to. Let me tell you all this. Say what you want to. 2015 to 2020 was like no drama Obama. It was like no drama Obama. Everything was going on a certain path. And people can say, you understand me, that they moved around this country with much more ease than they do now. You ask people visiting this country, we know some of you are in the diaspora. Ask people visiting this country how it was with the last administration. You had a sense of peace. Crimes were on the decrease and being solved in a very timely manner. National pride was restored. But since these jagabats and trench crappers come back, Father have mercy. Mercy. That's what we say. Mercy. Who lead matters. You remember Granger saying he wants an incorruptible commissioner of police? You all see the police force and them kind of scandals the police force in now, like high-speed chase and killing people and all that, the way it's happening now. And we coming back to that. We circling back to the same high-speed chase. There was peace. There was a sight that I often reflect on that is emblematic of that period of the David Granger-led administration, emblematic of that period in our history. I used to be at a place on South Road working, and I remember leaving that place one evening, and there was a couple. They look like I know there's a distinction. Koreans don't like to be called Chinese, and persons of Chinese nationality don't like to be called Koreans. And so there was a couple, a man and a woman. Look, they were either Koreans or they were either Chinese, and they were hand in hand. I never forgot that sight. Coming down from the area, let's say it's the Ministry of Foreign Affairs there on South Road, and they were walking on the parapet on the South Road side, walking down as though they were heading towards Ornock Street. And I thought they must have a sense of security because it was about 7:30 at night. They must have a sense of security. Here's a couple walking hand in hand, enjoying the national capital city, enjoying the return to the garden city. Remember when the last administration was there, they started clearing up. They started clearing up that whole area there by the Independence Arch and South Road, and all of that was looking spick and span. The coffee monument, the water was flowing back again, and Durban Park was cleared up and looking pristine. It's amazing how these guys have left that whole place to return to a place almost looking like squalor. They don't understand the aesthetics of a city and city planning and urban planning and all of that. It doesn't concern them. And so here we are again, the crime numbers going up because again and then again and again, we can point to the fact, folks, that who lead matters. Leadership matters. And again, our thoughts and prayers with the family of this victim here, the pump attendant, shot twice according to reports, at the New Amsterdam Guy Oil Gas Station. We got to do something about this collectively. It has nothing to do with your politics. When we step outside your door, you step outside your school, all we expose. You think when them boys come to asking you who is PPP, who is PNC, who is AFC and all that, they're not asking who is Junior or Gentile, Pentecostal or Roman Catholic. Them boys just coming for the things. Them boys coming for the things. And so collectively we got to work on these problems. Collectively we got to work on these problems. And I see hundreds of you are joining our podcast. And we're so grateful and humbled by that. But this year, the pace and power year, I want to advise us to get a little more active. I understand why some of you can't share the live program. I understand that. Some of y'all thief and a peep, thief and a listen. I understand that. We understand sometimes the raindrops we got to dance between. The raindrops we got to dance betwixt and between. I understand that. But I'm certain for lots of you, you can share this live podcast so that other persons can benefit from the information. I told you guys I was going to circle back to the Mahika crash because the parents, I understand, of these young people are saying the police are to be blamed. The police. And in Region 5, the Road Safety Council has come out to say that they believe the police acted in an irresponsible manner. Folks, we got more work to do in this place. We got more work to do. When the police involved in accidents that claiming civilian lives, where we going? Huh? Is them bandits in New Amsterdam, them guys supposed to be pursuing like that? Not people for a traffic violation. Come on, folks. Come on. Is the bandits that just hit Guy Oil gas station here in New Amsterdam, is them people we supposed to be chasing down like that? Those folks we supposed to be chasing down like that. But we were at the point where you got a fella like Schumann could stand up in the National Assembly and refer to his colleagues basically as dogs. Where we there? Where we there? He can stand up in the National Assembly and say, my colleagues here, like a man's best friend who chased behind a car, and then when they get the car, they don't know what to do. Basically calling members of the opposition dogs. When we were at that place in our society, we're in a bad place. We are in a bad place. And so the police that's supposed to be serving and protecting end up hurting the citizens. When that happens, we're in a bad place. We're in a bad place, folks. And so I am learning. Credible sources tell us, right? Credible sources are telling us that high government officials reached out to this family of these two young people who lost their lives so tragically on the Mahika Bridge. Credible sources say high officials, right, from the Jagabat and Chanchkapo regime reached out to this family. They want to pay them off. They want to pay them off. I wish the family would sue the hell out of them. Sue the hell out to them. It's only this country a 13-year-old could die, a 16-year-old, and a 6-year-old. People try to treat it like it's nothing. We have lost the value of human life again. So we are learning that high officials, right at the tap, 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 at the tip, tap, tip, tap, have reached out to their family. That's the information we are getting. And want to buy the silence and pay them off. But we're being made to understand that yeah, the family has reportedly told them, no, God, man, we want justice for our children. These young people belong to a community, they belong to families who love them. Right? And some people believe that you could just throw a 5,000 and a bag of coke up at anybody and they're gone. So it is being reported, folks, Marilyn and Shondell, Pamela Dover, we being made to understand, Samoa Williams and Shondell Moses, that they want to pay off the people. Right? They want to pay off the people and have them hush up. Because they know what the report can say, police at fault, and there's a good 50 million judgment waiting for them at the magistrate's court or the high court. Right? Sue the hell out of them. Make some people an example, man. Make some of them an example. But it's the same kind of people we're struggling with all the time, you know. These jagabats and trench crappos. The same kind of people. No value for human life. No value for human life. This is where we are. This is where we are, people. No value whatsoever for human life. Trying to pay off the family. Y'all think it's easy in this country, folks? Huh? The good book tells us justice stands afar off and truth cannot enter. Truth cannot enter. You understand where we are? Every little thing people want to buy you out. Right? Every little thing people want to buy you out. They shoot the girl. Richard 9, the REO, Carl Singh. Oh, trying to buy out the people. That's where we're there. A woman could bite a policeman, never see a day of a police step, much more court step. You understand when we say them boys come back? The whole society is daily plummeting. Some people say we're on the verge of the Dutch disease. Folks, we're disease infested with the Dutch right now. Dutch disease and resource curse. 1 ton, 1 ton, 1 ton here. 1 ton is money got for make human life. Ain't even take a distant second. It is not on the radar. Not on the radar at all, at all, at all. Folks, wherever you're joining us from, we want folks to get the credible and valid information. We tell you all, we out here for talking, we out here to bring information, right? To beat and teach. Beat and teach. Bring the credible information, right? Push back the enemy, defeat the enemy with credible information. With credible and valid information. We must defend the truth and promote the facts. Promote the facts and defend the truth. That's what we're into, you know. That is why we out here. As I said to you, in just a little bit, we're going to be joined by Tabitha Cerebo Halley. And we're going to be talking about Budget 2022 trouble. Regime and PR overdrive. That's what they're doing, you know. You see them boys like Kwame. I shouldn't use those two words together. Them boys and Kwame. You see those persons like Kwame. And you see them try and struggle to put in context a budget that got no context, really and truly, no. Got no context. People talking about consumption, worldview, and all kinds of nonsense to justify why they cannot let you and I share part of this pie, this national patrimony, all this mineral wealth and resource that we have. Resources, all of it is only some. Y'all remember George Orwell's Animal Farm? One of the refrains in that epic text and novel. All animals created equal, but some animals more equal than others. That is what we got happening here. Right? That is what their One Guyana means. That is the mantra, the theme, the motto, the tagline of their One Guyana. All created equal in this One Guyana. But understand, overstand if you're Rasta. You overstand. Some are more equal than others. Some are more equal than others. And every day, folks, we got to get up. We got to get out here. We got to fight. Fight forward. Contend with ideas. That's why we said, don't let it put nonsense in the comments. Right? Don't put nonsense in the comments. Folks, I know sometimes lots of you talk about blocking some of them. I don't block them, you know. I don't want to block them. I want to stay and see how we rising back to power. How we heading back into heaven? I want them to stand still and see the salvation of our God. I ain't got time to block them. The more they're in the comments chatting, the more the algorithm going up and driving up the views and all that on our programs. So let us stay and chat, right? We stand up on all the negative comments. Yeah, we stand up and we square our shoulders, and it's pace and power in 2022. You gonna think I got the time to block? Folks, if you can access our page one day, no, it's not me. I have no energy, right? I have no energy to block people. Me got energy. I want you to stick around and see how we progressing because we believe in certain core principles, right? Like yoga, your family, yoga principles as a family, we believe in them, right? And you can see how we can prosper. So I don't have no time with that. Blocking people, no, no, no. You got to see. I want you to see. All will see how great. All shall see how great. Huh? Is the man upstairs, is our God. All shall see. Don't come wrong, we funny with that. Good to see you, Ivor Henry. Tabitha is joining us in just a minute. Diane Mitchell, Henry, all shall see. Don't come wrong, we funny. Don't come wrong, we funny. Tabitha is going to join us in just a sec. Let me ensure that I have her on the line. Let me make sure I have her on the line and fully in studio for you guys. All shall see. We want some. The more the merry. But all are welcome here. That's the nature of our program. We like this how we can listen to me. Nobody ain't getting no Barbies and one set of people getting Essequibo and another set getting Demerara. Listen, nonsense. We all got to live in this country together. We all got to struggle together. Right? I don't hate none of my colleagues in National Assembly, none even on the PPP side. We got differing philosophies, differing worldviews. Right? As an adult, nobody got to tell me don't steal. That is why when you support us and you partner with us, you don't got to worry about me building a mansion or buying a car if it's so much money y'all sending or think y'all sending. Right? The values I'm living out, the value system I was taught, whether at the church or by my family. Right? My value system, I'm living out of that. I already come to conclusions on some matters. I don't steal. You think when my sons bring home some little pencil from school, you can bring them my house, you better carry it back. We living out of a value. So we might get different value system. Them boys believe in corruption and stealing and so on. Not we. Don't come around, we funny with that. Still watching to see what will happen with Sharon Hicks and so on. Still watching to see what's going to happen with those issues. Right? Still watching. Still watching. Folks, it is my privilege to have with us today Member of Parliament Tabitha Sarabo Haley, who is going to be joining us for our discussion today. And we're talking about how them guys going in overdrive with this budget. Biggest budget ever. Maybe too big, it can't lift off. Maybe that's the problem them boys having. It's too big. And they don't understand the aerodynamics and so on. Apologies there. Privileged to have with us Tabitha Sarabo Haley. And Tabitha, again, is one of our fantastic parliamentarians in the National Assembly. And we always love having her. Tabitha is a representative of one of the newer parties in the National Assembly. And I'm so happy she's heading in this direction. We need more women in politics, more young women in politics, and more young women who are bright and intelligent like Tabitha. Tabitha, welcome.
So thank you for that introduction, Sharon. Good afternoon to your viewers. It's good to be on.
You are welcome, Tabitha, and all are true. If it were a lie, we would have told you so. Tabitha, we look and see what these guys are doing here with this budget. Suddenly there's a scatteration because you read the newspapers every day. Open any newspapers, head to the newspaper column right now, the letter section, and you can see people pushing back against this budget. You read on social media, and I'm certain they got all the people in some little dark room reading your comments and reporting you to Facebook. That's how some of you are getting blocked every now and again and so forth. We ain't got time with that. Whoever will may come. And so they understand, Tabitha, the temperature out there is that this budget is not palatable, right? As our colleague Annette Ferguson would say, it has left a bad taste in some people's mouth. And they're now coming out here. You see our press conferences recently, and I saw some of them boys down at the Artichoke Convention Center, some of the supposed PR gurus trying to see how they can spin this hay. But bitter is bitter. You understand me? Senna is senna in any form. Tabitha.
You're right, Sharon. You see, it's a number of things happening at the same time. I think they didn't I'm not sure what they expected or how they expected people to respond. In their own little mind, I guess in their bubble, they felt that this was good enough for the people of Guyana. And if that is actually their thinking, then they're really far removed from the realities of where we are as a country and what people expect, given the fact that they have been saying that we're the biggest budget ever and we're in an oil economy. People have expectations. And so when it is that you say that what AP and UFC did was not good enough when we were there from 2015 to 2020, then you have to come better than that. And people know what they got on the AP and UFC without any oil money. So if you're going to say that you can do better, then you got to show. And basically what these three budgets have proved was that you cannot do better than what we did because our interest is in the people and their interest is in themselves and their cronies.
Yep. And Tabitha, yesterday, we there, drinking we water and minding we own business. And suddenly we see two things were happening almost simultaneously at the National Assembly. The assembly was in recess, and so there was a meeting rather happening there, where some of our MPs and the speaker and so on were involved. I think that was a committee of supplier, something of that nature. And then on the sidelines of the sitting, there was a press conference hurriedly put together by Papa Chakabat, hurriedly put together there. And again, every aspect of it says you want to distract from the budget. Here are people who could go, and you have sitting ministers in that
It was
house,
for
and
me,
in
Charles.
the
Yeah, for me, Charlotte, it was actually quite shameful because he is slated to speak today. And if it is that he's going to call a press conference on the budget, he could have made his presentation to the National Assembly and to all of Guyana in the parliament. The fact that he chose to do a press conference. And in his actual statement, he is recognizing that they are losing the battle when it comes to budget 2022. That people, that based on what we have done, what you have done, Gerard, on your programs, and based on the arguments that the opposition made in Parliament, that the people recognize and realize budget 2022 has nothing in it for them. And so he had to come and try to find a way to sort of salvage what happened in the National Assembly and what we have been able to do to help you to understand that budget 2022 has nothing in store for the working people and the working class of this country. So it was a pitiful presentation. I listened to what he had to say, and it was somebody trying to clutch at straws. And I don't think he did a good job at representing the rest of his party at that press conference.
It's bare nonsense. Bare nonsense. I want to take some of what he said, Tabitha, and maybe you can comment on it. I wanted to say expand, but I don't know if you can expand on the nonsense. Take a listen, folks, to what he said in that press conference.
I guess the media has been very engaged in very enthralling debate that's taken place in the National Assembly. And unfortunately, what we'd anticipated, which should be a contest of ideas and vision, through all of the rhetoric, that doesn't become very evident to people what we're hoping to achieve. So I just thought that in this more sober environment, that at least I can help to share the difference in philosophy between the two competing sides, and a bit of what we're hoping to achieve through this budget in the realization of the vision that we laid out some time ago through our manifesto and subsequent policy statements by the president. To understand the budget.
Yep. So there's the admission, as Tabitha said. Imagine you got 33 MPs. There are 32 on the opposition side, of which one is Shuman. So it's really like a 34. And I know some of you already nonsense Shuman talking at that assembly this morning, referring to, and I'm going to ask Tabitha about this, referring to the opposition as basically dogs. As basically dogs. But not to stray from the main issue. The admission is there. You got 33 MPs in there, and you were saying what we want to do is not coming through to the people. Then you hide the ranks of the people. What we want to do is not being understood by the people. Tabitha, that makes sense?
Well, well,
It
in a
makes
sense, it
sense.
makes a lot of sense, Sharon. Let me tell you why. When we sit in that parliament, and I made this when it is that I give my presentation, that normally what is supposed to happen is that the government minister, or parliamentarian will stand up and present their vision for their particular ministry, what they intend to do with the funding that they're going to get this year, where they would have what they would have done over the last year, and so we get a sense of what the vision is for that ministry and where they're going and how they plan to develop the sector given where we are at this particular point. And what the first thing is that most of the opposition members that are shadowing the ministers come before the ministers because they're apparently afraid of being rebutted based on what it is that they would say. So we
Mm-hmm.
have to go preempt what they may say, and then they come, and when they do come, they have no substance. They come with the SOPs, they come with the recounts, they come with who rigged the elections. There's very little substance as to what everything is vision is, what their goals are, and what it is that they hope to accomplish with the budget, with the money that has been budgeted to their particular sector. And so with Jagdio coming out to say exactly what he said, it's an admonition that that is what is really happening. They probably it is a case that they don't know what the vision is because actually saying did not outline any proper vision, any proper idea as to where the country is going. And so nobody knows. They just know that they have this country money and they have to spend this money in this year. And so that is what is coming out in the budget debate. And so it is evident, one, that the parliamentarians, government MPs, the government ministers have no clue what it is that is expected of them in parliament, what exactly is they supposed to be doing and saying to the people. And so Jagdio now has to come to try to bring some philosophy as to what exactly their intentions are, what exactly their goal and vision is. And somehow that would help people to understand and be swayed that this 2022 budget is in fact going to help them in the long run, which we all know it wouldn't.
Yep. It's the most fascinating thing ever. And I wish that some of the folks at UG and so forth would make this area study that you got all these members of parliament on the government side, ministers, who's supposed to be bright people. I mean, some of them you got an asterisk over the name like Kwame and Joe Hamilton, Parag and so on. You got an asterisk over the name on these matters. But you are saying that they are not capable and they have not made the guy and these people to understand what is happening. And so you got to come and you got to hold a press conference on the side of all of that to try to make sense. Right? Apologies there. We lost Tabby for a second week. We're going to have her back. Right? You got to try to make sense of that. Bear with us for a second. Yeah. So you have to try to make sense of it. It's the most bizarre thing, Tabitha. It is the most bizarre thing I have ever seen. That, I got a little asterisk too over that whole meeting that facilitated this press conference on the sidelines of the city. I got a little asterisk over the genuineness of that. That's just me personally. But bizarre. This country is not a real place. It is not a real place. Tabby?
Yeah, I don't know where did I come off?
I was just talking about how the whole thing is bizarre in my mind still. This whole meeting and press conference and all of that. And the fact that basically you're lashing your own MPs and say, or your own ministers, install, albeit, and you're saying that they aren't really getting the message to the people. So I got to come. I is the great communicator. Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
And you have manage a
I
whole
don't know how that
country and a
is
whole
going to. I
island
don't know how
economy.
that is going to
Wow.
play out. I don't know how that is going to play out behind closed doors because if they didn't hear it yesterday after what Cathy Hughes MP said today in the National Assembly, I'm quite sure everybody's not going to look to hear exactly what he said about them. Because I thought it to be quite interesting that he would make that statement. But even more than that, though, Sherrod, when you listen to what he said, I think that there's a lot of pressure that is coming on the PP from all quarters. There's a lot of pressure that they're getting. Publicly, we're seeing it. We're seeing it on social media. These people are not buying into what it is that they're doing. But outside of that, I think there's a lot of pressure coming down on him to deal with what we would call these guardrails have not been constituted since they got into office. And so it was a combination of what is happening in Parliament, a recognition that they're losing the PR, not only locally, but internationally. And so he's now trying to deal with that. And so we'll see.
I would only say in a crabman voice. I would only say in a crabman voice. Pressure, pressure.
Recognize is that seeing and understanding and recognizing the PVP is no good for them. And in all quarters, everybody is speaking up about it. And so the PVP has a lot of work to do if they're going to come saying that there's elections anytime soon.
Well, once more in my crabman voice. Pressure, pressure. Pressure bust pipe. Pressure bust pipe, people. Tabitha, another thing I want, another issue I want to get your attention on is the whole issue of Schumann's presentation this morning. Well, we know who Schumann is, right? Schumann fully welded, fused to the PP. There's no longer Liberty and Justice Party. Don't worry that. You understand me? Don't worry that. Liberty and Justice, where? Right? If you're telling me about Guyana Nation Builders Movement, stop at the party, I can say yes, but what Liberty and Justice and so. He's fully PPP. But in this presentation, Tabby, he was making this allusion to how, in his mind, his humble estimation, the opposition is operating, and he makes the comparison to a dog who runs behind a car, and when they get the car, they know what to do with it. And he says, man's best friend, basically calling the opposition a dog or dogs. Where we there in this country? I mean, this thing is weird to me. Where we in this country? Oh, we are dogs now. All right.
You see,
All right.
sure, I think sometimes we even pay Schumann way too much attention than he should get. Schumann has shown who he is. He is someone who has to appease whoever it is at a particular point in time he can get something from. And what we saw from him this morning as he did his presentation was a need to make the people feel happy with him at this particular point.
You got only
And so,
salary.
even though he was attempting to tread as if he is neutral, it was obvious that he was. And so, in playing that, you would end up saying things that you don't want to say, you don't intend to say, but you think you have to say so that you make the other side happy. I'm not trying to absolve him from what he said because I thought it was a very crass statement, and a good statement. But it's a case where Schumann is in a particular hole that he can't seem to find himself out of, and probably doesn't want to because he's getting what he needs from the PVP. Um, I, I and the thing though is that the Speaker of the National Assembly, I saw he was attempting to bring some order at the end when Gail was trying to bully him, but he continuously seems to neglect when anybody from the PPP or Schumann says or does anything that is unparliamentary. He doesn't hear, he doesn't see, he doesn't know, but he always sees something that the opposition does. And I think that he needs a lesson in what really being a speaker is all about and what is expected of him. Because he is not doing a very good job where that is concerned. And I think somebody needs to pull him aside. One of the old speakers or someone of the international parliamentary unions need to sit him down and let him understand what his role should be as Speaker of the National Assembly.
Exactly, exactly, Tabby. I'm looking at the monitor where we are, and I see our numbers are really up. Interestingly, I feel big. I feel, and this is why they frighten us. This is why they frighten the opposition. We got too many people listening to us. You had Papa Jagabat in this press conference yesterday, and you had about they send that live stream through to every known Facebook page that that they manage. NCN it was on. It was on Cranticle. It was on Newsroom. It was on Papa Jagabat page, Air Fund page, all the ministries page, and they were barely managed to scrape out of that about 800 views. Right now, we got over 1,000 people watching us at midday. And I'm so grateful to you guys for that. Over 1,000 people. Imagine you got a two-time president. He's the general secretary of the party. He's the leader of the government. Don't let me mix up with Ali and son. Papa Jagabat is he. He run things. Right? He run things. And you can barely script. You're passing the biggest budget ever. The people in this country know the hardships. And so nobody get time with y'all what y'all saying. Huh? And we got more viewers watching me right now, listening to us right now. And this we got a whole press conference, right? With Gina, with DPI, with NCN, Cranticle, all them covering me. And live, all them live. And nobody watching them. Nobody cares what they say because they know it's a pack of lies. That is an interesting observation now that I'm looking at our podcast and the numbers we have. Nobody, not even the trench crappers and the jacobats, and watching them. They're on our page listening to us. I find that fascinating. But Schumann has become a contradiction to
Yeah.
me, Tabitha, because when I listen to some sections of his presentation, they see we listen to them. We listen, you have to listen and deduce what is sense from nonsense. Most of Schumann's thing is nonsense. Some there are times when there is method to madness, and Schumann's presentation this morning is sheer madness. Sheer madness. But that being said, I say it's a contradiction because one day he and the people be fighting, and next day is real abuse story happening. It's like when you get beat up by a spouse and say, "Oh my, yeah, don't lock you up." That's Schumann, right? Schumann was beat up by his spouse the other day, and he come to the National Assembly. Man, yeah, I don't lock you up. He's a good man. Look, he give him a little salary here. Look, he give me a little benefit here, or housing, and a driver. Yeah, I don't lock you up, man. That's Schumann, right? It is abuse wife syndrome Schumann going through right now. Stand up in National Assembly. Darmlal was cussing out Schumann the other day on social media, embarrassing him in public, embarrassing him in the National Assembly. The whole install regime section in the National Assembly, booing Schumann, the deputy speaker. Miskin crawl how they treat Schumann. And to listen to Schumann in National Assembly is battered wife syndrome. I studied that as an undergraduate doing law. Battered wife syndrome. That's what Schumann experiencing now. One day Schumann hate them, next day is big love affair. Maybe it's because Valentine coming up. But more so, Tabby, Schumann once said, when the same young woman was shot by the Region 9 REO, when he was asked why he doesn't comment, he said he got comment on any indigenous people issue. Right? That was Schumann. And this morning, oh Father, Schumann take a 360. Is what he do for the indigenous, what thing he make for them. And he showed himself as trying to be the champion of the indigenous this morning in that presentation. So it's a duplicity for me. Tabby.
But Sherrod, you dealt with a few things in when you spoke just now. Here is the first thing that the PPP, and this is why when you look at persons who join the PPP, who are a part of the PPP, you have to wonder why. Because the PPP, like when people are in a place where they are either compromised or in a position where they need something from something from them, and so you have to cower to whatever it is they say. And so Schumann finds himself in that position and it's playing out very publicly. But there are a lot of other instances where it doesn't play out as publicly, but that is what is happening within the PvP. It's not a case where we're all comrades and we're all a team working together for the good of the country. It's all a case of what do I have over you to make you do what I want you to do it when I want you to do it. And that is how the PvP operates. And so what you see from Schumann is just a case of something very public that happens privately in PvP all of the time. Um, and so that is the one part I want to see. In terms of his speech and what it is that he said today,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that is it's a case of same thing throughout all of the other MPs, all of the other government MPs. They have nothing of substance. They come, they don't have anything to say about their particular portfolio, their particular sector. And they come just so when you listen to them, there's nothing they're speaking. They speak a thousand words and they say nothing at the same time. And so Sure now coming, pretending to be speaking on behalf of the indigenous people, when the people who he claimed to be representing would say they don't know him, that he does nothing for them. It's a clear case of where we are and where the PvP is. The Utah Foreign Affairs Minister stood up today to speak about all of the places that he went to in Region 10 over the last year. His area is foreign policy. What he spent most of his time, it's very good that he went to Region 10. There's nothing wrong with the minister going to Region 10. But his area of foreign policy, and up to now, we don't know what the government's foreign policy agenda is on anything. He said bilateral agreements and bilateral partners. We don't know who he's speaking about, what exactly they're planning on doing with
Fluff, fluff.
these different countries are concerned. But he comes to talk about the fact that he went to Region 10 like 15 times over the last year. And so what we don't get from the PVPN instrument to it is substance. And the people are seeing right through them and recognize that they really don't know how to govern. They really are incompetent, and all they're interested in is how much they can use their time in office to fill their pockets and fill the pockets of their friends and family.
Correct on all points, Tabby. Correct on all points. You know, when you talk there about Utah, you reminded me of something I heard in social media just yesterday. This woman says, she need to fly to this country. She got to fly to this country. She going Barbies. Shoot. Utah believes that them places he visit, that's foreign places, right? That's foreign places to justify him being the foreign affairs minister. What a joke. What a joke. You know, it's regretful we are at this point. Truly regretful.
He spent Sharon, he spent no time talking about the issue with the vessels. He spent no time talking about it, even if it is to say to the Guyanese people that we have it under control. There were some issues that we are now dealing with, just to let the Guyanese people know that you're on top of it and you know what you're doing, and we are dealing with the matters. Nothing of the sort. And so I really don't understand what Hugh Todd is doing as Minister of Foreign Affairs. I'm of the belief that he really isn't the Minister of Foreign Affairs, and I'm not sure who is. But our foreign policy has taken such a huge hit since UP has come into office. And his presentation today does not suggest that it's going to get any better over the next year.
Tragic indeed. Tragic indeed. You know, um, the good gentleman, I'm still to be impressed by him. I'm still to be impressed. I know how long I got to wait or what have you, but it is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. And we're gonna. I don't know what do we tell the people of this country, Tabby? You know, what do you tell these people of this country? You know, you're from a fine political party, the Guyana Nation Builders Movement. What do you tell people? You traverse, you on the ground, you talk to people. What do you tell them to make sense of this?
Well, you see, it's hard. It's true that because people on their daily life have to deal with the pressures that we're currently under. They have to find ways to put bread and food on the table. And the reality is that but it has nothing to them. But what it is a reality that people get sense that the PPP, and this is not just what we call opposition speakers, but the Guyanese people in general, need to understand that the current way we do governance and government will not work in the country. The reality is, though, Sharon, I'm going to go on a broader space now. The reality is that no matter who is in government, half of the population would feel as if nothing is happening for them, even when it is. And so we need to get past this particular place where it is either I or them, we or the other. And we have to come to a place where we recognize that as Guyanese, we need to be able to work together. And so it may mean, as horrible as it may sound, that at some point the PPP has to come and sit at the table with the opposition parties, all of them, and say, how do we move this country forward for the better of the entire nation? And until we get to that point, we'll be in this particular place. Yes, we know that elections are coming up, and yes, we would love for the AP and UAFC to get back into government. But at that point, there's going to be half of the population, even if not half, the PVP is going to make it seem as if the population that they supposedly support are not happy with what APNU is doing. And so we need to move past this stage where it is either I and we, them, and us in this country, and a place where we can all work together. Because you see, while we be fighting each other, ExxonMobil and everybody else, all of these companies that are coming to this country are going to eat all of us and leave us on the side of the road, and they'll be enjoying the country for us because we couldn't figure out how to enjoy it for ourselves. And so I think we need to be a place where we get past this division and divisiveness that happens in the country, to a place where we can sit down at a table and decide how are we together going to move this country forward.
Yep. True words have not been spoken. All of us got to sit down in this country and look and see how we move this country forward and move it together, right? Move it together, right? Moving together. I'm looking at a post. I'm looking at the post, Tabitha, on social media as we speak. Just posted. And here is Kirk Campbell Luke. I think this is a journalist, country. Fantastic journalist too. Truth be told, I think Kurt was either the year before me or after me, or we were in the same year when we were undergraduates pursuing communications at the University of Guyana. And I dropped out a pass and graduated from communication as an aside. But hear what Kurt writes on social media. You're talking about moving this country forward together. And what an apt post. Barely glance at it. He says, Nigel Darmlal, I promised I wasn't posting this year. I promised I wasn't posting this year. This is what he says. All right? But there is your victory, blocking a young black entrepreneur from securing business with the regional administration, and then you run to the National Assembly to label me a crony when I have to do your government bidding every single day. When I have to do your government's bidding every single day, you make me sick. All right? Why are you trying to black? This is the comment. I want to read it again. Nigel Darmlal, I promise I wasn't posting this year. But there is your victory, blocking a young black entrepreneur from securing business with the regional administration. And then you run to the National Assembly to label me a crony when I have to do your government's bidding every single day. You make me sick. Jesus. This is where we're there. Or I think it's where we're there. Tabby, where we there? Jesus. Every day.
So
Every day.
I, I don't even know how to respond. I don't know the backstory, so I can't really respond to it. But the reality is based on what you just read, and if anybody who knows Carmen and knows the type of person that he is, and and what he's doing at the local government level is But you see, Shara, this is what a lot of the people in the country have had to deal with over the last 18 months. And I was making this case in my presentation that the whole idea of economic dynamism and what it means. And basically, what it means when the PP is in control is that they know or they can say who gets contracts, who doesn't get contract, whose business will fail, whose business will prosper, because they're involved in the what is supposed to be a liberal economic sector, and it's not as liberal when the VP is involved and in
Yep.
government.
Yep.
And so what you're hearing from Luke is a case where Dharmalal is making whatever the fact that he's minister of local government or whatever his rights are to ensure that somebody doesn't get a job. And if that is really the case, which we know it is likely to be true, it is really appalling, but it is who the PVP is. It is who they have been that way for 23 years. It's nothing new, but it's just that another, the young set of people who are now coming in to their own, now coming into what it's like to start a business, and so have to deal with the PP government, are now dealing with the realities of what it means to have a PP in leadership. And it's really sad because what is happening with Campbell is not the only one. There are a lot of other young people who are dealing with that at different levels. And if you perceive, first of all, once you're black, you perceive one way. So if you're black and you have to show that you're loyal to the PPP in order to get by. If you're seen as a coalition supporter, then you're also on the blacklist, and it's difficult for you to get a job, or to get business, or to get a contract. And so that is where we are as a country. It is really sickening and it's sad. But there's something else that was said yesterday, that Cheryl, that I wanted to highlight.
Go right ahead.
When Jim made his statement yesterday, he gave the impression that the reason why we have dropped 2 points on the index, on the transparency index, is because of the fact that AP and AFC's time in office is now being scrutinized by the Public Accounts Committee. And I want guys people to understand. You may have heard that, but that is far from the truth. That is not how these international agencies work. The international agencies don't depend on whether a public accounts committee meets or don't meet, go through an audit or don't go through an audit in a given year. That is not how they operate. It may be part of their assessment, but if the PAC never meets, that doesn't mean that they would not give an indication as to how they view corruption in a country. So I think the fact that Jack Joe said at that press conference that we're going to go further down in the corruption index suggests to us that he knows how corrupt he has been as when they're in government, and he expects that the corruption index is going to go lower under their tenure as PPP. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Yep, and I'm very, very happy that you did, because all is a pack of nonsense. They know where they're going. They know where they're going, and they know for a little while, right, until we get back into office, that corruption index ain't going nowhere that is positive. They know it is not going any place that is positive. See, he's already setting the pitch for what is to come next. He's already setting the pitch for what is to come next, but we ain't having it. Boots on the ground, we ain't backing down. And Tabitha, I know, as sure as I know, night turns today, that you and your party has a definitive part to play in this whole process, the Guyana Nation Builders Movement. Love having you as my colleague in the National Assembly. Love having you on these programs. And I really want to thank you for spending this time with us on the sidelines of the debate happening in the National Assembly on Budget 2022. And what I said yesterday, that Dr. Ashley Singh had the courage, quote unquote, the courage to bring it to the National Assembly. Tabitha, thank you for making sense of these some intractable issues, nuanced issues in this society of ours.
And thank you. I will say thank you, Sharon. Sharon, you know us in the National Assembly, your colleague MPs don't know how you do it, where you get the energy from. But morning, noon, and night, you find the
I
energy, you
just
find the
dead.
time, you find the strength to go on these programs and to keep the Guyanese people informed. And so I just want to publicly thank you for what you're doing. Of course, we too are going to chip in every once in a while, but so I would say this for you today: share the live stream. Please share the live stream so that everybody can hear what it is that is really happening in the country, and get the truth and honest of what really is going on, and not just what the PP wants to shove down our throats. So thank you, Sherrod, and thank you to whoever's in the background helping you to produce some
Thank
awesome
you,
shows
team.
every
Thank
single
you,
day.
team, watching me. Tabitha Sharaba Haley, member of parliament and the and member of, if not leader, of the Guyana National Nation Builders Movement Party. So glad to have you, as always, Tabitha, on our program. Thanks for joining us. And thanks for your kind words.
Goodbye. Goodbye to your listeners.
Great. Folks, that's our program for today. That's our program for today, folks. You know, my colleagues in the National Assembly, especially those, of course, on this side of the house, the parliamentary opposition, they have been the wind beneath my wings. The wind, folks. The wind, the wind. You guys as well who tune in every day. You guys who tune in every day. Y'all is the energy. Y'all is the energy, folks. The encouragement that we get to say pace and power in 2022. Guys, let me hold a focus. Let me hold a focus. Let me hold a focus. This part of the program is where the bills gotta pay. And so we encourage you guys to come on board and to partner with us. You know, we got several platforms available. Not even going to try to be long here to take away from the rest of the program. But the bills got to be paid. And folks, they rack up every month. We don't know people here. That's part of the value system. We don't know people. We don't owe people. We pay we bills. We take a service like the internet and so forth, and we pay we bills. We got lights to pay. We got staff to pay and all that. We pay we bills. Let me tell you all that. So we got several platforms available that you guys can contribute. We got the Cash App, is a dollar sign, our Cash App handle, the dollar sign in the ring 592. We got Zelle, we got PayPal, same email address. Zelle and PayPal, same email address. In the ring 592 at gmail.com. In the ring 592 gmail.com. We're available via MMG, that's the GTT system. The local Cash App, 627-6963 is our MMG number. Thanks to all the folks who partner with us. 627-6963. We're available via MoneyGram, via Western Union as well, via MoneyGram, via Western Union as well, folks, as well. Come on board and partner with us and let us move this thing forward as we have been doing. We're so grateful to have each and every one of you: Andrew Cuthbert, Dunsford Jeffrey, Irwin Don Cook, Richard Fordyce, Basil Clark, Diane Fordyce, Marlon Kamini Van Veen. It's you. Good to see you. Hazelyn King. Hazelyn, I see you for a long time. How have you been, Hazelyn? How have you been, Hazelyn? Respect and manners to Hazelyn. Good to see you. Warnella Garnett, always about. She like me, we just there. Wardella, good to see you. Andrew Wellington, good to see you too. Diane Graves Andy, Irwin Don Cook, good to see you. Bull Page, respect and manners. Respect and manners. Bull Page, respect and manners. Guys, have a great afternoon. Karen Gordon, have a great afternoon. Respect and manners. We're going to see you guys back tomorrow, back below the belt. We are on this evening. We're on this evening. We're on this evening in the ring. In the ring. Where anything could happen. In the ring. Where anything could happen. Good to see each and every one of you guys. Good to see you. Stay safe. I'm heading back into the National Assembly. Heading back. Heading back to fight with the Jagabats and the Trench Crappers. Good to see you guys. We're going to see you guys this evening. Stay safe. Stay safe. Great to have you.